we are into the actual architecture of ARM Cortex M3. So this is similar to what you observe as a block diagram of microprocessor or block diagram of microcontroller. So microprocessor or microcontroller, if you take, so it will be having memory, it will be having peripherals, it will be having arithmetic and logic unit, it will be having register control, right, or bank register, it will be having instruction fetch unit, right. So these are the common things which you find in a microprocessor and microcontroller. So in your earlier semesters also, or you generally you take any systems, right, any system you take, any laptop you take, whatever device you find, we'll be having basically these peripherals, okay, memory, arithmetic and logic unit, control unit, okay, then data bus and control bus. These are common things which you find. Along with these things, few of the extra what they have added, that is why they call it as a Cortex M3 or advanced RISC machines, okay. So they have included interrupts, they have included instruction fetch unit, they have included decoder, they have included register bank, right, trace interface, memory interface, debug system, and this complete blue color, light blue color, what you are observing, they are calling it as a processor core system. Then we'll be having a memory protection unit, data bus, instruction bus, bus interconnect, debug interface, memory system and peripheral, private peripheral, then options, code memory, then debugging option. So obviously this is one expected question. Explain the architecture of ARM Cortex M3. So you need to draw this block diagram. Okay. Why it is block diagram? Because it is just simply telling which are the components present in the processor, right. So whatever processor is required, all the things have been provided here. Now here we can observe this code memory, right. So code memory is nothing but your read only memory where your source code will be present. Memory system and peripherals, so you will be having memory, read only memory, random access memory, cache memory, for which you require peripherals where processing has to be taken for these peripherals. So I am going to use this part. Private peripherals are the external peripherals which you are going to add. Like I want to display, like I want one buzzer, like I want one LED switch, right? LED thing you want require. You require a switch, you require a keypad, you require a mouse. So these are all the private peripherals which you are going to add. Then we have all operational unit which you can observe here. Tracing part, debug system, memory unit, instruction bus, data bus. So these data bus and instruction bus is of 32-bit length because we are understanding a ARM 32-bit processor. Okay, so whatever instructions and everything will be there, it is with respect to the 32-bit. So here also we discussed that there are two types of instruction set. One is ARM instruction set, one is thumb 2 instruction set, and one more it was thumb 2 exceptional instruction set, which I had discussed here, okay, which is this one. So now we are going to understand what is this thumb 2 technology and instruction set architecture, and what are the for those things. Okay, so this block diagram I will be sharing the PPT to you. You can copy in that one. Now just focus on what you need to understand. Okay, so architecture, when we say there are two types of architecture, one Neumann architecture, one is Harvard architecture, right. So what is the difference there? If you ask, one Neumann architecture, the memory will be outside. Harvard architecture, the memory will be inside. This is simple to know that what is the type, right? Imagine, sir, what if memory is inside? What if memory is outside? Okay. So memory, if it is inside, then processing will be fast. If memory is outside, then processing will be difficult. Okay, as simple. If all of you students, if there is a offline classes, so it will be very easy for me to see you, to make you understand. If any questions are there, I am able to clarify that one. Now as it is being an online class, so the difficulty here is that I am not aware how many of you are listening and how many of you are not listening or doing some other kind of works. Right. So that is a simple thing which we will do. So few of the things mandatorily it is required memory part. So those application means they will follow different types of memory type. So now we are going to observe what is the architecture of ARM Cortex M3. So you can observe here the Cortex M3 is a 32-bit microprocessor, right? So it has 32-bit data path, a 32-bit register bank, and a 32-bit memory interface. Okay, so whatever command you are going to do, it should be of 32-bit data length. Whatever register you are going to use, it should be of 32-bit length, and whatever memory interfaces will be there, it should be of 32-bit length. Right. One example is that your USA number, it is a 10-digit value, alphanumerical value. Okay, your USA number is 10 digits, 10 values. Your friend's USA number is also 10-digit value, right? It is not going to change. One is 10, one is 8, one is 11, it will be not there. Complete VTU USA number will be of 10 digit. Maybe the first digit, first value, it will dictate or it will depict about the region. Like 1, it is Bangalore region. 2, some other region. 3, maybe Gulbarga region. 4, maybe it is a Mysore region, right? Then next two values will be your college code, right? 1 VE, right? Then next two digits value will be your year, academic year, which when you have joined, right? Next value will be your branch, and last three digit will be your roll number, right? According to alphabet, whatever it is been given, right? So it is fixed for 10 digit. So similarly, this ARM Cortex M3 processor, it is fixed for 32-bit length. If you want that processor to listen to you, to act to your commands, so you should give data in 32 bits. If you don't give the data in 32 bits, it will append zeros to that one. It will make 32-bit value and it will take the instruction. That is the meaning here. Okay, the processor has a Harvard architecture, which means that it has a separate instruction bus and data bus, right? I spoke with respect to the memory, now they are speaking with respect to the bus. So von Neumann architecture, there are two types of architecture processor will follow. One is von Neumann architecture, one is Harvard architecture, right? One difference was I discussed about that memory will be there present in the processor itself, memory will be outside, which is external. And one more thing in the Harvard architecture is that your instruction bus and data bus is separately present. That architecture it is following. So you can see that instruction bus is separate and your data bus is separate. So what is the advantage of having different buses? Okay, so what is the advantage is that it will not collide and there will be no confusion. Okay, now instruction set also it will use commands, right? That commands finally it will be converted into binary value. Now your data will be also in binary value, so same binary value it can repeat, and if you are using common channel, then it will be a very difficult. Okay, then it will be a very difficult task. So that is why they are having separate buses for the instruction and separate bus for the data, which is followed in Harvard architecture. So that architecture is been followed in this ARM Cortex M3. This allows instruction and data access to take place at the same time. So you can have parallel transmission. Instruction also you are giving, data also you are sending. So at a time parallel thing is there. So what is the advantage? Your response will be fast. If it is a one human architecture where you have a common bus for instruction and data bus, so instruction also there, data also there, the response time will be high. So response times usually it should be very minimum. When I ask question, immediately you need to answer me. Then only it will be an interactive class. If I ask question and if you don't answer, then what happens? It will take lot of time. So efficiency I cannot find out, right? So that is a thing which is present. See, morning now I asked about that student Gokul. He didn't respond. I don't know what's the problem over there, right? And I cannot wait till he answers. I cannot wait also, right? Because I have allocated only this 40 minutes of session for you people, and if I miss this one, almost around 58 students what are present in the class, for all of them the time will be affected. So I need to make it fast. That is a reason. The performance of the processor increases, correct? Because data access do not affect the instruction pipeline. That is the same reason which I have talked. This feature results in multiple bus interface on Cortex 3, each which optimize usage and the ability to be used simultaneously. Right. So this is the advantage which you have if you have separate bus, and that is why this thing is been incorporated in this ARM 3. Okay. This architecture they are following that part, right? However, the instruction and data bus share the same memory space, a unified memory system. In other words, you cannot get 8 GB of memory space just because you have a separate base interface. So here you can observe that the memory unit is common to instruction as well as data bus. So you should have that balance. Okay, if you don't have that thing, what happens if you give only for data to have memory space and you don't have any instruction, then what's the use? What you will do with that data? Is it or no? So it's of no use. So you should have a common balance between these things. That is what he is trying to tell us in this statement. Okay, so next part is what continued. This is all about the architecture of ARM Cortex 3. Means what features of these things which we are going to learn. Okay. So for complex applications that require more memory system features, the Cortex M3 processor as an optional memory protection unit, which we call it as MPU, and it is possible to use an external cache if it is required. So here you can see it is MPU. Okay, so where is that MPU unit? Memory protection unit. So here whatever memory is there, like code memory, memory system interference, for this one still option is given for you. Okay, where you can store. So you buy a laptop, your memory is full, you can take a hard disk and you can connect to your laptop, and that it can be used as a peripheral, right? For your mobile phone also you can use a cloud and you can store all your data, and that can be used as a memory part. So that option facility is also present. Okay, it is available. External memory you can take. Usually for all applications the memory will be only in terms of MB. Okay, you require that much only, right? So you may ask, sir, why the memory size or source code and everything it will be in MBs. Okay, you say you take a Word document file, it will be in kilobytes. PDF file if you take, it will be in MBs. If I take image, okay, it also will be in MBs. If I take from normal camera of 1 megapixel or 2 megapixel, the size will be around 800 MB or not 800 MB, 800 KB or 1 MB maximum. If I take 10 megapixel image, high resolution mobile, okay, the size will be around 1.2 MB, 1.3 MB. I will take a camera and I will take an image. The size will be around 8 MB, 10 MB, right? So as you have more number of data, your size is also keep on increasing. Okay, so here if you see Word document, the size is in kilobytes. In image, if I take, the size in MBs. So why it is that different if you ask? So if I take Word document, you are having only two colors. one is black, one is white. Okay, so pixel value is very minimum, so the size also will be very minimum. That is why your Word document, the size will be in KBs. Same thing if I take an image, it will be color image or a grayscale image, so it will be having more values, so size also will be high. And as you go for higher resolution part, the size will be still more further. Okay, that is a one thing which you have to understand, right? So this also should be an important factor about this memory. That is why for here the code memory which you have shown, it is only in KBs. Okay, your source code, it will be written in only black and white, so it doesn't require 1 GB of data or 2 GB of data. It is only around record, because you observe in C drive in the laptops also, they will give 100 GB capacity, but data store will be hardly around 20 GB. Okay, that is an example which I can share. Then it follows both Little Indian and Big Indian memory systems are supported. So memory part, we have this Little Indian and Big Indian, which is nothing but number of ones, because here the data will be of only with zeros and ones, and you will count how many number of ones are present in that particular data. So that one of the method we call Big Indian and Little Indian. So when we take example, you will be knowing it about in detail about that part, and when I take about the memory system with example, it will be clear. I hope you have observed this Big Indian and Little Indian in the previous lower semesters in the basic electronics or microprocessor or microcontroller. It might be there. If it is not there also, it is fine. We will be still doing it now. Okay. The next part is what? The Cortex M3 processor includes a number of fixed internal debugging components. So debugging components, what is the usage? If any data is lost, if any data is corrupted, so I want to have the reverse process to know where it has stuck. I want to debug where the problem has occurred. So how to identify those things, that also is provided. These components provide debugging operation supports and features such as breakpoints and watch points. So I want to know everyone is attending or not. So I need to take attendance in between for 15 minutes. Okay. Now students, what they will do is that initially they will join, and once when I go to the presentation mode, they will log out and they will come to know when I will take attendance, so they will join again at that duration of time. So it is not high efficient output you are going to get, right? So it is normal thing which is going to happen. So every 15 minutes if I take attendance, then what happens? I will come to know. Anyhow, that is not required, because I will come to know who has attended, at what time, who has left this session, how much duration of time they have attended this session. So everything, it will be there. Okay. So these are the things which are present in this internal part. In additional, optional components provide debugging features such as instruction trace and various types of debugging interfaces. That is what which I have done. If any instruction is missing, so we can go back and we can check what is the issue over there. We call it as a line by line execution program or complete program execution. Okay, so Verilog if I take, or microprocessor controller if I take, it is line by line execution. So it will show where is the error. In SGL, if any error is there, it will indicate, so this line is having error. Right. So here also that is possible. Right. Next it is telling features of ARM Cortex M3. Right. Three-stage pipeline design. Okay. So three-stage pipeline design means your processor has been segregated into three stages. Okay. First stage is processor core unit, second stage is instruction and bus unit, and third stage is this part. And they will be running parallelly, right? So parallel running means what is the advantage? It will be very fast. That is a one feature. Okay. Harvard bus architecture with unified memory space, instructions and data bus are use the same address space, which is 32-bit. 32-bit addressing supporting 4 GB of memory space. So this processor will support 4 GB of data. Okay, source code it will take hardly in KBs. Okay, still we have about 4 GB of data to perform your operations. That is one big advantage. On-chip bus interface based on AMBA. AMBA is nothing but Advanced Microcontroller Bus Architecture Technology. Right. So bus interface technology is followed by this AMBA. AMBA is nothing but Advanced Microcontroller Bus Architecture Technology, right? Which allowed pipelined bus operation for higher throughput. Okay. So why we do pipelining? Because your result should be fast. You should get output at a faster rate. That is why we follow this part. An interrupt controller called NVIC, Nested Vectored Interrupt Controller, supporting up to 240 interrupt requests and from 8 to 256 interrupt priority levels. Okay, so you can observe that 840 interrupt requests it can support at a time, and it is having 8 to 256 interrupt priority levels. Okay, what is this interrupt, what is this interrupt request allowing? If you ask me, so if I am taking a regular class, offline class, if there is an interrupt occurred, so if interrupt is there, I cannot stop my teaching, right? It should continue because it should parallelly run, because it will affect my overall time period. That is the main thing here. So if it is major interrupt, then obviously I need to stop. If it is a minor interrupt, then what we have to do, I should neglect it and I should continue, because it is affecting overall system. Okay, if one example what I can tell is that the class strength is around 55 to 58 years it is there. So all students, if they are present, then only I will teach. If I make this compulsion, okay, if all 58 students are present, then only I will. ಯಾರಪ್ಪ ಇದು ಅನು ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ್? ಅನು ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ್ ಅವರ ತಮ್ಮ ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. See, that is a problem which we will face. Okay, you are professional and you should be knowing that. Okay, it should not create disturbance. You are all grown up. You are not kids. I am being paid to teach you, and you should not disturb me, nor you should disturb to your friends. Personal space irutte, make sure that you are not affecting others. Okay na? So interrupt is a thing which it is there, right? Obviously we have to cope up with this interrupt and we need to provide this service. Otherwise what happens? Complete system will break down. Right, so this is a thing which about the interrupt, and this is one of the features of this ARM. These all things are not provided in the microcontroller or microprocessor. Okay, supports for various features for OS operating system implementations such as a system tick timer, shadowed stack pointer. System tick timer means what? When it will start processing, when it will be busy. So those all things will come to know, right? So one best example what I can share is that washing machine. If you take example, okay, so you have put all the clothes into that washing machine. You have given inlet, water inlet to that washing machine. You have given power supply to this one, and you have switched on. Okay, when you switched on, whether it will immediately start working? It will not start working immediately. Okay, so washing machine, the processor will try to fetch all the information. Okay, what information it will fetch? Whether water inlet is sufficient or not. Okay, it will check only that. Then what it will check? Which mode the washing machine you have kept for operation. Whether it is for fast, whether it is for cotton clothes, whether you have given for normal execution, whether you have gone for with hot water or not. So you need to select which mode, and based on that mode, it has to operate that operation. Okay, so it will check all those things, then it will rotate. Okay, that rotating speed also it will tell what is the rpm. It is 6800 rpm, whether it is 7000 rpm. So those things it will be displayed, right? So when it will fetch all this information, then it will start rotating, and you cannot in between open and check whether it is working or not, whether it is working or not. So you will be seeing whether that washing machine is working or not when it is rotating, and when you will get that sound. Okay, when you will get that sound, you will tell that, oh, it is started working. Okay, so that is the same principle here also. We are going to see the tick. Once it start any operation, it will a red light will be there, or a green light will. Red light usually will be there when it is processing, and once it is completed, it will come to the green light, right, indicating that it is completed. Okay, so those are all information you can add it here, right, which can be useful for the user. So I'll come to know when it started, when it has end. Okay, that is the thing. Sleep mode support and various low power features. So no need to tell or explain this one. It is self-explanatory. It is having sleep mode type supports and various low power features. Support for an optional memory power protection unit to provide memory protection features like programmable memory or access permission control. Right? Supports for bit data access in two specific memory regions using a feature called bit band. So you can have a bit band specifically stored for those operations. Okay, so those are normally things which will be present. The option of being used in a single processor or multi-processor design. So these are all are the features of a ARM Cortex. Now it comes to this register part. So we have said 32-bit part register it is. Now this is the register structure, right? So you can observe that it is all of 32-bit length. Okay, so you can see R0 to R15. So totally there are having 15 registers. Okay, and in this they have called it as general purpose register. So all R0 to R12. So totally it is 13. Out of this 13, R0 to R7, which is 8. Okay, we call it as a low registers. And R8 to R12, right, which is 5, upper 5, we call it as a high registers. There is one more register R13, which we call it as a bank register, where you are having MSP and PSP. MSP is your main stack pointer, PSP is your process stack pointer. So what is stack pointer is that it is indicating which instruction should be executed now. So to do that specific thing, you are having R13. Okay, R13 we call it as a stack pointer, R14 we call it as a link register, R15 we call it as a program counter. Right, so these are the, I think, link register, it is with respect to the external register which I want to connect, then I have to initialize this R14. Program counter, it will count which should be pipeline next. Stack pointer indicating which line it is executing now, and all these are with respect to the 32-bit length. Okay, so 2 power 32, that is the address space which is there for this R0. Like this you are having 15 registers. Like this, we are having 15 registers, and they have segregated to low registers, high registers. Okay, these are your register banks, right? This is present in the Cortex M3, which is here, register values. Okay, memory values, register values will be present here, the register bank. Okay, so register bank is almost near to the ALU, arithmetic and logical unit, and it is nearer to this decoder. So whatever data will be there, it will be stored into this register bank. You might have observed that the register bank, the space was around 4 GB of data, correct? 4 GB of data which was present. Now this 4 GB of data, it has been allocated here, right? And each length will be 32 bit, 2 power 32 into 15. So if I do, we will get around 4 GB of data space. That is the meaning here. External memory also you can have, that is extra thing which you can add it. It is not limited, because here you can see here I mentioned here it has what, how many, 4 GB of data, correct? 4 GB is present. Now here you observe it is having 8 GB. Where it went? See, in other words, you cannot get 8 GB of memory space. So, sir, here 8 GB you are telling, there 4 GB you are telling. The reason being external register, which where MPU are using, their link register has been added to this one. So, you can have multiple parts. That is a thing here. So here he is discussing about the all the register points. So you can observe here the Cortex M3 processor has registered R0 to R15, R0 to R12. It is used for general purpose registers. R0 to R12 are 32-bit general purpose register for data operations. Some 16-bit thumb up instruction can also be accessed with a subset of these register, low register R0 to R7. So whatever I discussed, same thing it has been written in this points. Then R13, it has been used for a stack pointer, right? There are two stack pointer here. One is main stack pointer, one is process stack pointer. They are banked so that only one is visible at a time. When you are having instructions point, right, so one should be executed. If multiple are there, it is difficult for them to execute, and that task is being carried out by this register. Okay, that is why we call it as a stack pointer. Stack means what? Which should be executed next. That is the reason here. That is the only thing which we have. Example you take about in the multiplexes, right? So you have booked the ticket, everything it is now booked. But if you go to theaters where there is no booking type, okay, so if you take ticket, who will go first, they will allocate there. So it is like that point. Stack pointer is also is certain. Who is executing first, that will be forwarded, right? So at the initial stage, this main stack pointer will be present. That is the meaning here. The lowest 2 bits of the stack point is always 0, which means they are always word aligned. Word aligned means what? That 32-bit value you should get. It is a word. It is not a byte. Now byte if I tell, it is 8-bit. Word if I tell, it is a complete 16 and 16. So total it will be of 32 bits. Okay. That is the memory part which is trying to tell you. Right. R14, it is of link register. When a subroutine is called, the return address is stored in the link register. So usually this link register is for the multiple memory part you will get, and you may be knowing about this term function, term process, maybe subroutine. Okay. So what you will do, there will be a main program, there will be a sub program. So main program will call to a sub program, and after finishing that sub program, it should come back and process the main program. So during that time, you can use this link register. And one more is your register 15, which is your program counter. The program counter is the current program address. So which program it is running, that is the address space which you can find. This register can be returned to control the program flow, right? So this is all about your register bank which is present in the ARM Cortex M3, okay, which is present in the ARM Cortex M3. Right. Next